Hey guys, welcome back. Drip Coach here with Drip Info and Poor Poverty, where we don't trust, we verify, and operate with integrity and transparency. In today's video, we're examining a interview between Altcoin Daily and Rand and Nooner from Crypto Banter. So both of these guys are like OGs in the space. Rand has some background in investing and sold a multi-million-dollar company, but got into crypto super early and has been trying to basically educate more people about this wealth opportunity. So in this video, or a couple clips I'm going to share with you, it's basically how much time do we have left till the Bitcoin bull run, rally, second top, whatever you want to call it, and what you should be doing based on where we are now, and a little bit about the potential altcoin season that we haven't had yet. So let's go to the first clip where Aaron asked him where we're at right now in the cycle.
So where are we today with this crypto bull run? Are we more towards the end? Is it almost over? Or are we in the middle?
So look, I think that up until now, people have spoken about crypto in 4-year cycles. And to be more specific, we've had three of these 4-year cycles. And people were talking about whether this is a 4-year cycle. Now, I want to quickly just share a chart with you quickly. So this is, let me just quickly get a chart here. This is can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the Bitcoin chart. I'm going to quickly just put onto a weekly time frame so it compacts beautifully. Okay, this chart, let me just open another chart that takes us a little bit further back. I think this one will take us a little bit further back. So these are the 3 cycles. That's the first cycle. It's a 2017 cycle. You can see that basically this cycle went all the way and it topped around the 18th of December, the 11th of December. That was the first cycle. The second cycle kind of topped more or less around the 8th of November. You can see it over there. That's the 2021 cycle. And the third of the 4-year cycles is the one that we're in now. And if you look at the cycle, what you can see is it looks in shape very similar to the one before, right? So you can see we had like a top over here. This top was in December. This top was a little bit later. I think it was in April. Then we dipped as we dipped over here. And now we're climbing up. And this pattern looks awfully familiar. If this plays out like this thing over here played out, we could actually top as soon as November this year if it plays out more or less like that. So going by history, you kind of say that we could be close to the most aggressive part of the bull market, the part that actually takes us to the top. And I hate saying this because I know that every time people say this time is different, it never is different. But I'd like to hope that this time is different and that we're going to have a much longer, much more sustained bull market. But for now, my base case is, look, I'm preparing myself for a very vicious run between now and November. Market tops are pretty simple to spot once you have a trained eye. You get retail people coming in, YouTube numbers start going up, altcoins start running much faster than Bitcoin. People take more altcoin leverage than they do Bitcoin leverage. There's a ratio of altcoin leverage to Bitcoin leverage. And that ratio oscillates. I don't have that chart in front of me. But when the altcoin leverage ratio gets equal or bigger to the Bitcoin leverage ratio, you know that there's a lot of froth in the market. And so I'm preparing myself for a very aggressive end of year. If it doesn't come, actually it's a good thing because that means we may be in a much longer, much more sustained bull market. If it does come, then the idea is to ride the wave and to just be able to identify the top signals. And when you see those top signals, to actually be able to exit, because that's the hard.
And that is some sage advice because I round tripped my bags last cycle. The only one I will round trip is Bitcoin because I just don't feel confident in the psychology as well as just myself to buy back in with the same amount in time the dip. So for me, it's definitely more for Bitcoin, a set it and forget it DCA daily strategy and just keep buying and never sell the Bitcoin. There are some that are able to, set up buy orders and sell orders and keep track of what the margins are on those different orders that they had. Kudos to those people, but I feel this is all just clearly feeling, has absolutely nothing to do with facts or charts or anything like that. But I feel like what could happen this cycle is that kind of what Rand just mentioned, this is also what Raoul Powell was saying, is that it could be different and it could run longer. And what could end up happening to people is you're going to try to get out. And let's say from here, Bitcoin does we'll just go simple, a 2x. So we'll go to the 250K range that Rand's talking about. We'll come to later. So Bitcoin goes to 250K. And then all of these signals are in that he's saying the market's getting frothy, altcoins are running, there's more leverage. So you're like, okay, that's a top signal. And people sell. So that would be me selling at 250 and be like, great, Bitcoin starts to go down 20, 30, 40%. You're like, great, it's going to at least get a 60, 70% correction. I'm gonna wait to buy back in, and it only goes down to 30, and then it rallies right back up. And then you're sitting there going, when is it going to come back down? And you didn't get back in. Like, that's my fear. So that's why, me personally, I just can't afford to play that game. I know that Bitcoin is scarce, and I forgot like the statistic, but it's like 97% of all Bitcoin has been mined, and like 97% of the population doesn't own Bitcoin, right? So it's like, get it while you can, because there will come a point where you're just priced out from fiat terms and or Bitcoin singularity, where people are just pricing things in Satoshis. So that's my fear of like, yeah, I don't want to miss that. So definitely there's FOMO in that regard. Now let's go to the next clip of like, hey, it gets more concrete with these numbers of where we're at. And man, is an eye opener.
Let's just play out both scenarios. Let's say it does come. Bitcoin today is just over $100,000. You know, if we have this aggressive next 3-4 months, maybe that takes Bitcoin to 150, 180, under 200, something like that. Would that be the bull case for Bitcoin?
In the short term, yeah, my number's a little bit higher. Mine's around 200, 250,000. And that, you know, if we get into the aggressive bull market, 200 to 250,000, I kind of see that happening before the end of the year. If we get the aggressive bull market, yes, I think that's the bull case for Bitcoin this cycle. If we have a short cycle that's relatively aggressive. Let me give you some perspective. If we're talking about a top in November, we're talking about 130 days from now. Just like imagine that you have 130 days left in this bull market, and that's how aggressive the runs are if we follow the 4-year cycle. As I said to you, I'm secretly hoping that that's not the case, and I'm willing to give up a more aggressive bull market for a much longer, much more sustained bull market. Because if we get the much longer, much more sustained bull market, then I think we can go to like 250, 300,000, much higher. So it's all a function of time.
I'm thinking of the people watching.
Man, let that sink in. Like he said, so he said like 130 days, but you can just go all the way out till December if that's how the cycles play out. And it could be even earlier, because like the third cycle, 2 cycles ago was December, then we had November. So it could be even closer to October. But just looking at from today's date till December 1st, 140 days, you got 5 months. Like, and again, there's no guarantee, but just think about that. Like if someone were to tell you, it's like, you got 5 months to stack as much of this asset as possible before it goes parabolic, and you could miss that opportunity. Like again, yeah, there could be definitely a bear market, but I just don't feel that the bear market will be as deep or as sustained as it has been in previous cycles. Like it just doesn't make any sense. The only way I would see it like that is with the next election cycle and the next potential candidate, whoever gets in, if they wanted to be like super anti-crypto, that could cause a bear market. But even then, I feel like there's so many other countries, nation states, and capital coming in that it wouldn't even matter if the US did a 180 on Bitcoin. Like by that time, you're talking 3.5 years from now, the Bitcoin market cap could be sitting at 5-10 trillion, and so many more people orange pilled that it's just like, okay, if you're going to be that dumb to pull the plug on Bitcoin as a country, there are plenty of others that are willing to bet on it. So I don't know. I just don't know what could cause that. Like what black swan event could cause us to get a huge bear market, long sustained bear market at that. All right, let's go into the last clip on altcoins, because I know there are some of you degens out there still holding alts like myself, and you're probably on the opposite of the 80-20, where you got 80% of your portfolio in alts or damn near 100% like I did last cycle. So let's see what Rand's saying about that.
$600 somewhere around there. I wouldn't be surprised if
that's the Solana case. He believes Solana get to like $600, $800.
If Solana got to anywhere between $600 and $900, if Bitcoin got to $200,000 to $250,000.
So talk to me how altcoin season happens, because I have no problem holding the Bitcoin. I do want to take some profits on my altcoins. So how will it happen this time?
So let's just talk about what happened every other time, because before we discuss what happens this time, let's talk about how altcoin season manifests every other time. So there's this flow chart that I think everybody knows, except we added a phase 0. Phase 1, people make money in Bitcoin. once they make a lot of returns in Bitcoin, they start moving down the risk curve, up the risk curve or down the risk curve. And they go to the Ethereum, and then they go to the large cap alt, and then they go to the small cap alts. What you've realized in this market, though, is that it hasn't happened. The stock market's at all-time highs. So if you look at like the SP 500, I'm not sure if it's exactly at an all-time high today, but it was earlier today. But the S&P 500, oh, there it is. It's back at all-time highs. And Bitcoin is close to all-time highs, but altcoins are nowhere near their all-time highs. Let me show you some altcoin charts. Altcoins are nowhere near their all-time highs. Okay, so that's quite a depressing picture. And the reason why this picture is depressing is twofold. The first thing is that there are way too many altcoins, and the amount of money that we need to push up the altcoin market is almost impossible to get to. And so the market is breaking up into two sections. The first section is, or let's say three sections. One is Bitcoin. Then it is altcoins that fit the institutional and DeFi narrative, which is this narrative that's coming out of the United States around Wall Street buying in, they're buying certain DeFi protocols, etc., etc. Then you've got a whole lot of dead zombie coins. And then you've got a meme coin casino, right? Like an on-chain casino. And so how do I think altcoin season is going to manifest this year? It's not going to be the same as every other year. Every other year, we had Bitcoin, ETH, large cap alts, and then small cap alts, and every single small cap alt had a run. You remember it didn't matter how many mistakes you made, somehow the coins would still end up going up. This time is going to be different. You're going to get Bitcoin running. You're going to get the Wall Street coins running. And they're going to start with the layer ones, ETH, Solana, maybe Sui. And then we're going to get a DeFi summer. And when I say DeFi, exchanges, decentralized exchanges, lending and borrowing, real world assets, loaning against real world assets, staking because of the staking ETFs, etc., etc. Then we're going to get multiple narratives running at certain times. You're going to get an AI narrative running when there's AI news. There's going to be some other narrative running when there's other AI news. Then you're going to get a bunch of zombie coins. And then you're going to get the meme coin casino, which is never going to go away. The people that came here in the last cycle to get their dopamine hit on altcoins aren't going to get it on altcoins in this cycle. And so what they're going to do is they're going to go to the casino where they can make a 10x. Where can you make a 10x? You can't really make 10x's on DeFi anymore very quickly. But where you can make 10x is you can go into the on-chain. When I say the on-chain, you go to the on-chain world, you go to the meme coin world, you buy the meme coin for $400,000 market cap, and it gets you $4 million and you've made your 10x. So if you want that casino, it's available on-chain. And otherwise, if you're investing, you're not going to get the 10x's and the 15x's, but you are going to get amazing growth. But you got to know exactly what narratives to actually be investing in.
So there's your altcoin alpha and how the cycle will play out this time. So like you said, it's going to be into the meme coin casino. And we definitely saw just a year ago or so, Solana having the big push with meme coins. Hell, I even got into it because they created the pump.fund equivalent over on Binance, and I made a meme coin. Flapjack's still out there. I have to do an update on that. Nothing happening with that. We'll see if BNB and some of these other alts will pump. But the way the cycle plays out, like you showed in this image, is that there are phases and we just have not gotten there yet. So stocks, then Bitcoin. So we're, he already showed, he had in a clip on here before of his portfolio where Robinhood, yeah, here's his new allocation. So Robinhood and Coinbase, those stocks have already rallied 150 to 230x. So that lines up with this, where we're at right now. So Bitcoin has pumped a little bit. So we've left the stocks. Bitcoin is in its current pumping stage. ETH is lagging behind majorly, but we've seen a little rally in that. So we're in the middle of phase one. We're not even into phase two and then phase three yet. So we got some time before this takes off. But like you said, once you start to see this happen, that's when you know you're hitting cycle tops. So if you're planning on cycling out of your alts, like Aaron just mentioned, that's what I want to do as well. I have some large caps. I don't really have any more shit tokens and meme tokens, and I don't plan on cycling into that because last cycle I just could not pick the right winners, and I ended up losing any gains that I had. So for me, it'll be rolling out of Bitcoin, actually staying in Bitcoin, letting my large cap alts rally, like hopefully like Cardano and XRP and Sol, Sui, all those will pump some more. And I will sell those, not going to round trip them, sell out of that, buy straight into Bitcoin. That is my game plan. That is it. Super simple. And keep some dry powder from that sale so that I can buy the dips and set up some targets on Binance or Coinbase. that's it. I got no other plans. So we'll see how that plays out. Again, 146 days from now. So about 5 months. Hopefully, again, you are staying humble, stacking sats, and setting yourself up for success and not stuck in shit token casino or holding fiat. All right, smash that HBO special, help a brother out, like, subscribe, comment down below, and until next time, live daily and achieve your impossible. See ya.